guys, welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, hi, my name is Joy, and I am so glad that you are here, and I'm so glad that you chose this to be your safe space. You guys, we have a really exciting video for today. Grammys just came on last night, so I figured why not do book recs based on my favorite artists. I had so much fun picking out these recs, and I'm just gonna let you know right now, some artists, Taylor Swift, are gonna have more book recs than others, but that's okay because the beauty of books and music is just something that is very near and dear to my heart. I am so passionate about the books that I read and the music that I listen to because every single one of these artists have had songs that have changed my life in some way, shape, or form, and same goes for these books. I love these books for their own unique way, and I'm really excited to share these recs with you guys. Let's dive into the video. Okay, so I will have timestamps for each respective artist. So we are going to start with a big one, and that is Taylor Swift. Oh my gosh, like, I grew up with Taylor Swift. I constantly think about some of her old school hits like Fearless and You Belong With Me and We Are Never Ever Getting Back Together. Her music is so unique to me. I love when an artist is vulnerable in their music, and that goes not just with Taylor Swift, but it goes with every single artist in this video. They are so open and so vulnerable in their projects, and you can tell. Now, the first book that comes to mind when I think of Taylor Swift is Beach Read. Emily Henry is a Swiftie herself, so this makes it even more special. The first song that I thought about when it came to this book was Lover for Sure. And it's like, we can leave the Christmas lights up till January because our FMC, her name is January. And also the fact that in this book we have two rivals to lovers, and the fact that they were so down bad for each other, you could just tell. And it's like, can I go where you go? Can we always be this close? I love this book. This book is just so sweet, and I think Lover is a really good era for this one. But if you want another era, I definitely think Folklore is another good one. And the first song that comes to my mind when I think of Folklore for Beach Read is definitely August, pun intended. Saw Air and The Rust on Your Door. I Never Needed Anything More. And oh gosh, this book is so Lover and Folklore coded. The fact that these two, they've been pining for each other for so long, and they just never wanted to admit it to each other. But then when they finally had their moment and when they finally got together, it was just everything. I love this story. This is for my Reputation girlies, Fourth Wing by Rebecca Yarros. In this one, we are following our main character, Violet, who is at a war college in a country called Navarre. It's a lot of shadiness, a lot of corruption, and a lot of things that Violet ends up uncovering. Of course, we have our hot shadow daddy, Xaden. And when I think of Fourth Wing, the first song that comes to mind from Reputation is definitely Ready for It. And it's kind of like your battle song, if you will. And I freaking love it. When I think of Reputation, I think of Taylor just outside the box. It was unlike any of her other projects that she had did previously. When I think of Fourth Wing, we think of Violet and how she wasn't like a lot of I don't want to say she wasn't like any other girls. Violet entered Basgiath. Everybody had their doubts about her, that she wouldn't be able to do these things that she eventually was able to achieve because of her size and because of her chronic illness. And Violet came out on top, and she was that girl. The next book that I'm going to recommend, this one is Evermore coded, specifically No Body, No Crime, and that is A Good Girl's Guide to Murder by Holly Jackson. And in this one, we are following our main character, Pip, who is trying to solve a cold case murder that happened in her hometown. And based on everything that she was told. Essentially, this girl named Andy Bell went missing 5 years ago, and everyone in the town believed that Andy's boyfriend Sal was the one responsible. And after Sal was found dead a few days after the investigation started, it kind of solidified the public's opinion on his involvement. Pip does not believe that, and she ends up enlisting the help of Sal's younger brother Ravi, and together they uncover some secrets about what really happened to Andy. When you think of No Body, No Crime, it's like she thinks someone did it, but she just can't prove it. And this is Pip trying to uncover this 5-year-old mystery that has plagued this town for so long. And, you know, the ending of this book was insane. I did not guess that ending at all. And overall, I just thought it was really incredible. I love this book. If you want to get into thrillers, I definitely recommend this as a good way to start. But this is definitely No Body, No Crime coded. I think a lot of thrillers are No Body, No Crime coded, but this one in particular definitely fits the bill. And it is so near and dear to my heart. I've yet to watch the show, but I will get to it really soon. Now, this next book, it could either be tortured poets or it could be folklore again, and that is Magnolia Parks by Jessa Hastings. Magnolia Parks is a very unique book. It's coded in so many different ways. When I read this book, I immediately thought of So Long London and Illicit Affairs. In regards to Illicit Affairs, it's like, don't call me kid, don't call me baby, look at this godforsaken mess that you've made of me. And that is Magnolia and BJ to a T. Magnolia and BJ have been through so much as a couple, and yes, we look at it, and from what we've heard, people who may not have read this book, they're like, oh, I don't think I can get into that because it is toxic. And yes, these two are a literal train wreck together. But when you read about these two and you get a good look at them in depth, you realize that these two have their own individual baggage and their own individual struggles. It is just a life-changing experience when you read it. My heart went out to Magnolia so much during this book, and there were times where I did feel for BJ as well. But after that ending, I was ready to fight. I really was. I could not believe everything that we learned at the end of this book. And then when I think of So Long London, I think of Magnolia, and this is a place that she has grown up, and the people love her, and she has everyone wrapped around her finger. She has poured her heart and her soul in the UK, and being the UK sweetheart, socialite, whatever you want to call it. She went through the things that she went through with BJ, and after everything that unfolded in the book, it's like London is a part of her. This situation unfolded between the two of them. It's like, I think of the lyrics when I think of So Long London, it's like, I'm just mad as hell because I really love this place. You know, Magnolia loved London, and she loves London, and the fact that all of the BS that happened with BJ just kind of stripped that away from her. And that's the part that makes it so sad. Now, the next artist that I'm going to bring up is Olivia Rodrigo. Again, we're going to go back to Magnolia Parks. And the song that I immediately think of, One Step Forward and Three Steps Back, because, you know, these two are just in this constant back and forth. And they're constantly doing things to each other to make each other mad and to hurt each other's feelings. Think about the lyrics. 1 step forward and 3 steps back. I'm the love of your life until I make you mad. This is so sour coded. Now, the next book that I think of when I think of Olivia Rodrigo, Happy Place, the song that I think of is Happier, believe it or not. We have Harriet and Wynn. Those two were engaged. They recently called off their engagement, but their friends don't know it. And so they're kind of just faking it until they make it, because of the fact that when I think of the lyrics, it's like, we broke up a month ago. Your friends are mine. You know, I know you moved on to someone new. One more girl who brings out the better in you. I think one thing that Emily Henry nails in her books is the fact that she is able to not only focus on the romance, but she also really does a deep dive into the female main characters. One thing about Harriet was that she was constantly trying to live her life off of the approval of other people. Towards the end of the book, she came into her own and realized that she wasn't able to do that. Friendship element in this book really was spectacular, because these friends, you know, they've been friends since college, and they got older, they moved on, and things in their life happened to them, and they weren't able to be as open and vulnerable with each other. But in the end, they realized that, you know, hey, if we want to make our friendship work and make our friend group work, we have to put in the work. Guys, the next artist that I have is SZA. I have loved SZA ever since I was in college. When Love Galore came out, oh my gosh, Before I Let Go by Kennedy Ryan. And in this one, we are following our main characters, Yasmin and Josiah, who are divorced. And while they are dealing with their relationship, you know, being no more, they also have to deal with being business partners and co-parents to their 2 children together. You can tell in the beginning of this book that these two definitely wanted to be together. And I think of Nobody Gets Me. I don't want to see you with anyone but me. Nobody knows me like you. Nobody gets me, you do. And this song is just perfect. Beyonce. I love Beyonce so much, especially that early 2000s, because it just gives me so much nostalgia. When I was coming up with songs and book recommendations for Beyonce specifically, I immediately thought of Lemonade, because you guys, Lemonade was an era. It was such a different side of Beyonce that we'd never seen before. The way it gave feminine rage, the book that comes to mind when I think of Lemonade is This Could Be Us. And in this one, we are following our main character, Soledad, who is going through a really tough time, especially with that trifling husband, Edward. It was like she was blindsided by everything that happened in her marriage, because she poured so many years into it, and she gave birth to 3 beautiful girls, and it was like this man didn't appreciate it. And it's like, are you kidding me? And that is literally what Beyonce felt in Lemonade. The #1 song when I think of This Could Be Us is Don't Hurt Yourself. Think about that scene between Diamond and Carlton from Love is Blind when she poured that drink on him. That's the scene that I think of, because that's just so iconic. And Soledad really came out of that situation being that girl. Edward thought that she needed him, and in reality, she really didn't. She needed herself. And that's the thing that I love about this book. And I love the way Soledad was written. And Kennedy Ryan, if you see this video, I'm telling you right now, Soledad is so Lemonade coded. It's not even funny. The next artist that I have is none other than Ariana Grande. I am an Arinator for life. I'm going to go back to This Could Be Us for a minute. The #1 song that I think about for This Could Be Us is Thank You Next. To me, Thank You Next was a very vulnerable project. You know, Soledad was on this journey of self-discovery, and that's what Thank You Next did. Ariana learned so much about herself from her relationships. Same with Soledad. She learned about herself in so many different ways through her relationship with her husband. And the fact that Judah then came into her life and was able to love her out loud and embrace her for who she was, not for what she was able to do, I think is beautiful. Eternal Sunshine, I think of Funny Story by Emily Henry. Of course, we all know that this story follows our main character, Daphne, who was engaged to this man, and this man literally tells Daphne on the heels of them getting married, I am actually in love with my best friend and I'm gonna go be with her. Daphne is just shook to her core, and she doesn't know what she's gonna do, because, you know, she has to move out of the place that she lived in with Peter. And so she ends up stumbling across Miles, who is actually Petra's ex-boyfriend, the woman who is now with Peter. So those two, they end up moving in together, and so it's a roommate situation. When I think of Eternal Sunshine, it's like, you are a liar. You wanted me to be sorry for everything. I found someone else who is on my side. I think Funny Story is so Eternal Sunshine coded because it is this woman who was going through so much, and she could have been a woman scorned, but she chose not to do that. She chose to look at herself in the mirror, and she ended up meeting the love of her life, and it was in an unconventional way. That's what I'm gonna say on that. Sabrina Carpenter. I have loved Sabrina Carpenter since You Can't Blame a Girl for Trying. I was there when that song came out, and it was everything. I love Sabrina Carpenter. I think she's very versatile. When I think of Slim Pickens, I think of Just for the Summer. Of course, this goes without explanation. Justin is such a golden retriever in this book, and of course in Slim Pickens, we all seen the trend on TikTok. A boy who's jacked and kind, that is Justin. Justin is just the blueprint of a golden retriever man. He does surveys after dates, and he is so caring and so considerate, and he puts other people's needs before his own. And I loved this story. All right, you guys, that is it for today's video. Let me know in the comments what you thought, and if any of these books are your fave. And if you want me to do another video like this, I would be more than happy to do it. I love you guys very much. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I will catch you in the next video. Okay, bye.